everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassandra from Craftably Ever After, and as always I am super excited to be chatting to you guys this week. To anyone who's new, welcome. To all of you who've been with me for quite a while, welcome back. As you know, I love chatting to you guys every week or whenever I get the chance to. Now, as you would have seen from my YouTube thumbnail, I have been making some leggy frogs. Now, this is not actually the projects that I made for this video. They sort of came along my path on Thursday evening. Today is Saturday. So 2 days ago, I decided I wanted to give these leggy frogs a go after watching some market prep videos of a variety of people. Everyone and their friend have been making leggy frogs forever. So it's not that I am a forerunner or a front runner in terms of the leggy frog race. No friends, I am coming a million years after the trend have actually started. I am now finally jumping on this bandwagon because I wanted to see what this is all about. So on Thursday we had a public holiday here in Denmark, the 18th of May. So I used that day to crochet up a storm, finish my projects for this video, and when I finished slightly earlier than I expected, I was sitting watching videos wondering what to start with next when this leggy frog, whatever you want to call it, this bug bit me. So I went to Etsy, I purchased the pattern. I thought I'm going to give it a go, see what all the fuss is all about. And you guys, I love it. I don't know what it is about this pattern, but this is why I started my video with the leggy froggy part, because this pattern is pure genius. Now let me just show you. I've now made actually 4 already. These 2 are the 2 I made for myself. I've made already one for my daughter. I've made one for my son. They absolutely love it. Now my son is 16, my daughter is 11, so you know, quite a difference in age there, and both of them loved it. So I understand why these things are so popular, specifically at markets. Now I don't really do a lot of markets. Crochet is a hobby for me. Every now and again I do participate in the odd selling of items here and there. It's not a business for me, so I'm not stressed if I don't sell anything. I don't really want to sell at this point. I'm giving it away whenever I get the opportunity to. But these things are fantastic to make. They whip up in about half an hour, and once you've done the pattern once, it is in your head, because this thing is only 16 stitches around, 16. You've got these little arms and legs, you've got the eyes, which are super adorable. I don't have a lot of blanket yarn, and those of you who've been following me for a while will know this. I've only got like 3 or 4 colors. Luckily one of them was this bluish, greenish color. So for the frogs it worked out really well, and it is just fantastic to make. Now why I'm saying this pattern is genius, it is so simple. It is no-sew. You can whip these up by the gajillions and it will take you no time at all. Now, am I jealous of this designer? Now I will put the link down below who the designer is. I will pop it up, pop the name up on the screen as well. I'm extremely jealous that I have not been able in all my years of crocheting to design a pattern that is this simple, this adorable, this popular. I don't know how she did it. It is, I'm telling you, designing patterns is hard. Designing a pattern that is this fantastic, this quick and easy, and this popular is nearly impossible. It is nearly impossible to get a pattern this amazing to be this popular. So yes, I'm extremely jealous of this designer because this pattern is genius. And if you have never ever tried to make these leggy frogs, you have to. They are brilliant. I love them. I'm going to make a ton of them. I'm going to give them away to everyone as like emotional support pets, or I don't know. I just love them so much. I love this pattern. You have got to try it. And as I say, I'm like probably lost getting on this leggy frog bandwagon because everyone has done it now for ages and ages. This, you guys, is brilliant. You have got to give it a go. Anyway, as I said, this is not even the main projects I made for this video. So let's get onto it. As you know, I have been on a book buying binge of late. Many of my books have arrived. Many books that I told you about previously that I was waiting for is currently in my home, and more books are coming. So I will be splitting my book showing videos over a couple of weeks, because to show you all of them all at once is just gonna be a complete waste, because what I want to do is I want to try and make a project from them as well, and then tell you sort of my feeling around the book, sort of a mini book review. Now obviously all of us have got different tastes, all of us like making different things, we are on different levels in our crochet journey, so this will just be my experience with these books. Now the first project I want to show you is from a book that I showed you previously, which is this one, Mabel Bunny Company. All of these patterns in this book is actually made using a chunky or a bulky yarn. So it is projects that's actually supposed to be rather big. Now this is the designer. She's holding like one of her designs, and as you can see, they are fairly sizable projects, and all of them are similar. Now if you've watched my friend Caroline over at For the Love of Crochet, she made there's a little this dog. She made this dog and showed it in a previous video. It's quite big. I think she did use a chunky yarn on it, so it comes out a fairly sizable toy. I do not have bulky yarns. I don't like working with it. I don't have the space to store not the yarns, not the projects. I do not have space. I live in a very small apartment here in Copenhagen, so most of my yarns are very thin fingering weight yarns, my favorite being Rainbow Cotton 84. Then I've got quite a selection of DK weight, because in South Africa, when we lived there, that was my yarn of choice. I worked almost everything in a DK acrylic. So I've got quite a selection of acrylic yarns in DK weight, lots and lots of cotton yarns in fingering weight, which is what I enjoy most currently. But for this project, I decided on this dragon. Now someone in a recent video was also talking about this book, and they showed this dragon, or they said they wanted to make the dragon, and I was like, yes, I want to make that dragon. I've got the perfect colors, which is the Confection DK, the Bella Coco Confection DK yarns that I got last year in subscription boxes. I absolutely love the Bella Coco Confection DK. It is an acrylic yarn. It is super soft. It is fantastic to work with, and I use a 3mm hook with it. And this is my dragon. So made him almost sort of, you could say, similar colors. I'll show you the book. So they also use like a light turquoisey color. So I've got this beautiful light turquoise, dark turquoise from my Bella Coco Confection DK. This pattern was so easy to do. Nothing strange. I did decide, well, as with the pattern actually embroiders the eyes as well, but it's just simple little black stripes. I did start out with little black stripes. I didn't like the look of it, so I just added 1 or 2 more touches to the eyes. As I actually do like embroidering faces. The only other change I did was on the nostrils. You're supposed to be crocheting 2 circles and then sewing it on. I didn't feel like doing that, so I just embroidered little nostrils. His ears are just worked in rows. This, actually, normally I don't like attaching a ton of spiky things, so a lot of patterns let you make those loose spikes that you then work on one by one. This is a chain that you do to make these spikes, and then you just work the entire chain down the back, which I really enjoy doing. So this dragon is fantastic. Didn't take long at all. As I said, when I had my one day off this week, on Thursday, I could finish this guy up in no time. It is not difficult patterns to do. As you can see, no weird shaping, just a few bobbles here on the feet. But apart from the bobbles, no weird stitches, no weird anything. And he's a very nice small size that will fit in my cupboard for storage purposes. So this guy I absolutely loved making. So if you have been wondering about this book, I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed making this dragon. Obviously there are patterns of various levels of intricacy in here, but the dragon, he was very easy to make. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. And as you can see, such a nice size with the DK weight yarn. All right, the next pattern. Now this is going to be from one of my new books, and I will show you this book. It is called Alexandra's Garden Flowers. It's by the designer Kerry Lord. Now she is a British designer, and recently I made a bunny from her Edwards Menagerie book, which is a slightly older book, a few years old. Not all of her books, most of her books are in UK terminology. So although I'm more used to US terminology, it really is not difficult once you get going. Converting it, I mean, amigurumi for the most part is single crochet US. So you actually, it's not really that much, well, how can I put it? It's not that difficult to sort of get into the rhythm of seeing in the book a DC for double crochet and then converting it into your mind as a single crochet. So the conversion between US and UK actually is not a big problem for me, as I thought it would. And I mentioned this also when I did the Edwards Menagerie book. I enjoyed those patterns a lot. Now these flower dolls have a very similar shape to the, her animals that she has in the Edwards Menagerie, and I'm sure in her doll book as well. So the shaping of the actual body and head, arms, legs, with a few tweaks here and there, are fairly similar. Now you guys, this book is fantastic. Let me just show you one or two of the images in here before I show you the project that I made. Now her photos are adorable, but the one thing that was problematic for me was there's actually not enough photos for me on putting the item together. So there is a section at the back that shows you how you attach for certain flowers, you attach the petals in a certain way, so that's all nicely explained. But for instance, if you look at the snowdrop pattern, so this is the photo you have, And then there's one more photo, which is this one. And then the written instructions. So you don't actually, there's not a nice photo that shows you where on the head or how it looks before you attach the petals. So that part I did find a little limiting. So for instance, on this pattern, which is the primrose, they show you this gorgeous photo. Now the photos in here are absolutely beautiful, but not for me descriptive enough. Like I would have liked if they showed once you've done the head, before you attach, for instance, the little small details, which is probably would be the last part, just to give you a sideways view of the head so that you can see where exactly they attached the petals. That would have made a difference for me. Now I have been crocheting for years and years and years, and I struggled with that. So I did adjust the pattern at one part because it didn't make sense to me at all. It didn't fit the face because I think my petals were in the wrong place, but I will show you when I get to it. So let me just show you one or two. Here's an iris. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. The pattern I actually wanted to do, and I might still do it, but I was not feeling in the mood for a lot of sewing, you guys. I really wanted to make the sunflower. Is this sunflower not absolutely fantastic? I love it so much. So this was, when I first looked through the book, this was immediately the pattern I wanted to make. I didn't because there are 28 of those little petals on the head that you have got to make. And honestly, I was not up for it, you guys. I was not up to making 28 little petals. So you are wondering, which pattern did I do? I will tell you. I did the daffodil. So this is the picture of the daffodil in the book. I used rainbow cotton 8/4 with a 2.5 millimeter, and this is my little daffodil. There's a bit of fluff there. Daffodil flower person. Now you can't really see the difference very well, but this is a darker yellow, and then it's actually a very light. I wonder if you can see the difference like this. Here you would be able to see it a bit better. So I've got a darker yellow and then a very nice light yellow for the petals. Then for this trumpet, also the same color as for the head. I did embroider the eyes. I gave him or her, I don't know what this is, a little blush inside because they looked a little pale, just that yellow face sticking out of that trumpet. Now what I meant with the lack of photos, so they sort of explained to you where you're supposed to attach the petals, which was not difficult. I actually really enjoyed sewing the petals on because you do the separate petals, then you connect them all with like a few chains in between. It did fit perfectly around the head at the point where I sewed it. Where I had an issue was connecting this trumpet, because on the original amount of chains you start the trumpet with, it was much smaller. So the trumpet, when I did my first chain and I connected it and I did the first row, it fit like, it almost closed up my eye. So there was this big gap between where my petals were and where the trumpet would have fit. So there would have been a fairly sizable gap. And to me, the trumpet should be connected, as I did here, right against the petals, which is why I frogged that bit. I added 10 more chains than what they asked for in the pattern. Other than that, I followed the instructions exactly, and I think my trumpet still turned out really, really nicely if you look at what it looks like here in the book. So I think for the most part, it still looks beautiful, and I am absolutely in love with this flower person. So this pattern is on the easier side. It is also indicated as a level, I think it is indicated as a level easy or a level 1. So they do have sort of measurements at each pattern for how difficult or how easy the pattern is. Yeah, so there's like 3 leaves or 1 leaf or 2 leaves. This one is indicated as a 1, and it was easy. Apart from, as I said, when I got to the trumpet part and it just didn't sit right on the head. Now I would have liked, as an additional photo, because this one, this photo, and then this photo, these are the only 2 photos you get for making the daffodil. And honestly, it was not enough. I would have liked a sideways view of what it looked like once you attach the petals and where you are supposed to attach this trumpet. That would have been nice. Just 1 or 2 more photos showing you exactly where it should sit in relation to each other. But I was fine just doing my own thing for a teeny tiny bit. There you see these little arms that's in the shape of a leaf. Oh my word, I didn't think I would like these odd looking flower people as much as I do, but I am in love with it. And I think maybe after making this one, I will pluck up the courage to do that sunflower, because that sunflower is calling to me. Sunflowers are my absolute favorite flower. Actually, first place tie with a rose. I love roses as well, but sunflowers, they are just such happy flowers, and this is why I like the daffodil. I love the color yellow. Yellow is always for me such a happy color. So this flower makes me happy. I love it. It's gonna sit somewhere on my desk. It was super easy to make. Again, a fantastic book. Alexandra's Garden Flowers. It's a fairly new book. Let me just show you 1 or 2 more flowers just in case you want to see. Just look at this, the foxglove. Look at that flower next to the actual flower. Aren't these photos just beautiful? So I am super happy with this book. Here's a poppy, another but all of the photos, I cannot even say there's a photo that's my favorite or least favorite, because the photos in this book is beautiful. Even if you just get this book, I mean, look at that. This one is, what is this flower? Clematis. I don't know. Clematis. I don't know how you say it. Look at that. That is beautiful. Let's see 1 or 2 more. Now, as I say, if you are in any shape or form a flower person, you will love this book. Hydrangea. Look at that. I mean, the creativity of people writing patterns. I am just astonished. I am astonished at how creative people are. Oh, definitely I will be making a rose, because look at how fantastic this photo is. Don't you think that is just beautiful? And she's got, I wonder if it's in the front of the book, she's got this adorable photo, I think it's with her daughter, sitting outside. I mean, look at this. With those little flower people in actual little pots. Is this not just such an adorable photo? But look at that. I absolutely love it. I mean, if you can display this in your house with those actual pots, that little stand, with one flower in each bottle. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna have to make more. So this is my adorable flower person. Alright, you guys, that was it for this week. Can you believe it? So many projects. I know the shock you must have experienced seeing more than one project from me this week. It's been fantastic. All I need, you guys, all I need is a 4-day work week, 3 days of weekend, and I will be set. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. So work is going to keep on interfering with my crochet, but I will soldier through it as we all do. Alright friends, as always, I've had a fantastic time chatting to all of you. Let me know what you think of the books that I showed you today, especially my latest book, Alexandra's Garden Flowers. As I say, during the next couple of weeks, I will be showing you all of the books that I've recently purchased. I want to try and make at least one project from each as I show them to you, just to give you an idea of how I experience the patterns. Let me know if you have tried any of the patterns from this book yet. I know there's a few people that have been waiting for this book, and it's absolutely worth it. Alright friends, that's it for this week. As always, I hope you get some lovely crochet time in this weekend. I just hope you all stay very, very safe. I hope you stay very, very crafty. And I will talk to you really soon.